Is the Wii U finished? Well, that's the first question. I'm gonna answer that because this is the first ever Q&A that I'm gonna do on the review space. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's get to this Q&A. First ever. Well, I figure I'd do a Q&A. I've been a member of YouTube for almost a couple of years now with this channel. And so all these little questions that I've gathered over the years, I figure, you know what? I'm gonna answer a few of them, and I chose some of the best ones. And in this particular video, I also wanna play Killer Instinct for the original Game Boy. I'll be playing that in the background, so at least some sort of visual. It's a cool game. I like it. All right. Question 1. Is the Wii U finished? Yeah, I wouldn't say so, but it's definitely it's got a lot of problems. I just read the couple of news articles about it recently, and for example, the Ubisoft president, I think, or the CEO or something like that, he said that the Wii U needs more sales. That Ubisoft wants to make more games for it, but it needs to sell a lot more. It's only got over 3 million right now. And it didn't sell that much in January, for example, like only over 50K. I don't know how much it sold in February, but... So, you want to compare the Wii U sales, over 3 million sold so far, compared to a PS3 or a 360 that has over 70 million each. And... obviously the original Wii has a lot more. I mean, so they're in the tens of millions, alright? And there's a bigger demographic, a bigger chance of those games being bought for those systems instead of the Wii U. So that's why a lot of these developers are obviously skipping out on the Wii U. And then you have the thing with the Crysis thing. So Crytek, they wanted Crysis 3, or no, it was running on the Wii U. The Crysis 3 was already up and running for the Wii U, but it wasn't gonna happen because they just couldn't release it. Has something to do with the developers, not the developers, but the publishers. It was some sort of thing where it was like Nintendo, I think Nintendo and EA, and I don't know. I mean, what's the other one? There's another article that I read and now I'm completely forget. Oh, that's right. In the UK, I believe that they cut the price from... They cut it £50. So they took, now the deluxe edition is like $250, and the regular bundle is only £200 in the British European market. So it's not an official Nintendo price cut. It's just that the store, the retailer, that is actually a subsidiary of Walmart, they actually cut the price. I guess they want to sell more copies of the Wii U, but they have to, give it a price cut in order to do so. So is the Wii U finished? I wouldn't say so yet because it's only been a few months, but definitely by, a year and a half, if it's still not selling, then I would say it's definitely finished. Alright. Next question. What games do you prefer? I get this question quite frequently. What games do I prefer? Pretty much everything. I mean, I like to play different genres. And with the exception of sports team games, like sports titles, I'm not a big fan of those. There are a dime a dozen. Usual cliche of, there's just so many of them. You can hardly count all of them, you know what I mean? There's just an overabundance of those things that's saturated the market over the years. I'm not really into any of them. Maybe the closest would be the NBA Street, like Volume 2, the basketball game. It's a really fun, very arcadey type of basketball game. Probably the best basketball video game I've ever played, and that's a really fun thing. And it's not that they're bad in terms of gameplay. Like, most of them have decent gameplay. Like the NHL hockey games are good, got a little baseball game for the Game Boy Advance. They're all right in terms of like technically they're good games and well made, but I'm just not into that gameplay, that style. I'm just not a fan of it, and so pretty much everything else I enjoy. You know, fighting, action, platformers, shooters, RPGs, and everything in between. Puzzle games, you know, just a lot of different genres. Alright, next question. What's with the stupid mask? Why do you cover your face? This one I get, this is probably the most common question I ever get. And simple reason, I want to have a sense of, it's a privacy thing, you know, an anonymity kind of thing. Was never really comfortable in showing my, I never wanted to reveal, like, my face. I never wanted to be an on-screen, vlogger, YouTuber, like, I didn't want that. When I started, every single one of my videos, my reviews were just, like, from first-person perspective. And that's what my plan was, but it got to a point where I was just making more vlogs instead of reviews, so it's like I figure I might as well show something and show that there's a real person behind, you know, this channel, and it's like, yeah, that's me. But I also think that the mask, which isn't a mask, it's actually a bunch of different scarves that I wear. It's not a mask. People think it is, but it's various different scarves. I think it's a, you know, I never use these scarves anyway, like in real, like if I'm walking outside, I never really put them on, so it's like, they're just sitting around the house, you might as well use them for, you know. Yeah, it's a privacy issue. I don't care about, like, I don't want to be a famous dude either. Like, I don't want to be that guy that, oh, your face is plastered all over the, you know, the frickin' channel, and, you know, there's some YouTubers out there that are just fucking attention whores and glory hogs. Like, they just want to show their face on screen constantly and just fucking badger everybody to watch their videos just consistently. They have to show their face 24/7. They always have to have some screen time. Like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm the opposite of that. Like, I don't want to fucking show my face. And it's not like I'm the only guy doing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of other channels like that do this, that actually try to hide their, you know, what they look like. This guy named I Must Destroy All, he has a mask. He calls it the Demon Mask. That's his, you know, little gimmick. There's other guys there that, you know, they have some sort of gimmick. So I guess that's sort of my gimmick, is that, okay, I have something covering my face too. It sort of gives me an identity by, okay, that's what this guy does. Like, this is his style. You know, it's kind of like a look. Alright, which system will win the next-gen console wars? PS4, 720, or Wii U? Well, yeah, the PS4 and the 720 are not out yet. The Wii U is kinda not doing so hot. PS4 is highly anticipated, 720's okay, I'm just gonna take a wild guess. I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be a tie between PS4 and 720. Maybe the PS4 will come out at the end. More of a Sony fan compared to everything else. Like, I prefer Sony products, Sony games over the rest of them. But I do like Microsoft stuff. I do like Nintendo stuff. It's just, for example, you take a look at this generation. Like, who won? Like, did Nintendo win because we sold more than 360 and PS3 technically? But personally, for me, I would never want to buy a Wii. I'm just not a fan of that stuff. I'm not a big fan of the games. There's not a lot of exclusives that I want for it. So it's just like, whatever. I don't have a lot of interest in it. So, to me, the Wii was the definite loser out of the three. Like, I'm not a fan of that. So for me, I'd rather pick a PS3 or a 360. So it depends on, like, the different exclusives the games will have. I mean, the systems will have. Like, the games are going to matter the most. Like, which system has the best versions, the best exclusives, and whoever has the best library of games overall, I think that's the overall winner. Like, you know, you can brag about sales all you want, and you know, technically I guess the PS4 is the loser because if you want to count sales, then yeah, you know, PS3 lost the current gen console wars because it didn't sell as much as the 360 or the Wii. But I don't even see it that way because the PS3 did really well. It's a success. So I think the console wars itself is fucking overhyped. It's a product of just oversensitive bullshit gamers and idiot fanboys that like to bitch and complain about everybody else's systems. You know, this insecure rivalry bullshit. So that's what it is. Okay, next question. What's your favorite shitty game, aka guilty pleasure, to play? My favorite shitty game. Oh man, this I can't even answer. I don't know. I don't think. I have some games that I like that might not be technically good. Like I like God Hand. God Hand is a good game in gameplay, but like the graphics suck. You know, the stage designs are really bland. You can tell that the developers, I think it was Cloverleaf Studios or something, but it's put out by Capcom. But yeah, it's a fun game to play. Like the actual fighting mechanics is really fun to like customize, and you know, it's a good game. It's maybe an underrated game, but everything else sucks. Like the characters are pretty boring and stupid. You know, it's got that typical Japanese nonsensical feel to it. Yeah, again, the stage designs are very monotonous and very uninspired. You know, so I look for those things, like the technical aspect of it. If it sucks, but there's still something good about it, I'll play it. Secret Service. I like Secret Service. Not a well-received game. It's not a well-known game. It's by, you know, the guys who made the Call of Duty games. And it's a really fun first-person shooter. The graphics stink, you know, but the gameplay is actually pretty good. It's not too shabby. So I'll usually find something good to play in a game as long as it's the gameplay is, you know, playable. It's fun. There's something good about it. I'll enjoy it usually, even if the graphics suck or whatever. All right. What do you think about Disney releasing Star Wars Episode 7? I think it's a big cash-in. That's definitely a cash-in. That is a fucking, I mean, they want to make money off Star Wars, and George Lucas, you know, fucking selling it to Disney or whatever. He doesn't want to release any more Star Wars because he already ruined it. You know, it's already a ruined franchise for me. It's already kind of done. The only thing I'm hoping for now is that there's going to be a really good video game based on Episode 7. I probably won't watch this fucking movie in theaters, though. I'll just, I mean, I don't even want to pay for it. I don't want to buy it at all. I'll just watch it for free somewhere else because Star Wars has, the films themselves have been fucking garbage in terms of the prequels. Like, I wasted money on the prequels. I wish I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s where I could have saw the original trilogy, which was the only thing worth watching out of them. You know, obviously the original trilogy was the best, you know, awesome stuff there, you know, love all three movies, but the prequels really fucked up, you know, really terrible movies, technically, storyline wise, the characters garbage, everything was crap about it. Oh man, just embarrassing. Alright, next question. Who is the hottest female character in video games? Wow, that's a really good question. The hottest female character? I don't know if I have probably the DOA girls, Dead or Alive girls. Christy from yeah, Dead or Alive, you know, Extreme Beach Volleyball and all that stuff. That she gets me going. She can get me going. If there was a, you know, video game female character that I wish was, if this person was real, you know, in real life, I would be all over that. I'd be just, my god. Because it's just, you know, the Dead or Alive stuff is, I know it's fan service and everything, and they objectify the hell out of women, but fuck it. I mean, that's, you know, they know how to do that whole teasing thing. It's really sexy. Alright. What game has the worst storyline in history? Oh, I don't even know. The worst storyline? Probably a lot of the Japanese ones. The nonsensical Japanese stuff that, makes absolutely no sense, that has absolutely no, character development-wise, it just doesn't have any... I can't connect to it. I can't relate to the characters. I can't identify with the characters. And I've seen some Japanese games that are kind of like that kind of anime, nonsensical style to it. Whether it's, a bunch of, RPGs, JRPGs like that, stuff that just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get it. I can't invest in it. Or games that have really shitty dialogue. Like, I always, like, Dead Rising. Like, Dead Rising 2 is okay. Like, it's a good game in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, like, graphics are great and everything, but the dialogue fucking sucks, and I don't care much about the storyline. Like, I'm just like, whatever. I just want to kill some zombies. I don't need this huge narrative and fucking cutscene after cutscene every 10 minutes. Like, who cares? Alright. What game has the worst... Oh, no, already... next question. That's the previous question. How come modern rap music sucks so much? Wow, how come modern rap suck so much? Well, because mainstream rap is garbage for the most part. It's very repetitive, very stupid, especially in the last 5-6 years. The auto-tune stuff was really terrible, and then even before that, the Southern movement, a lot of Southern hip-hop was fucking exploding. Which was like one of the earlier signs of kind of modern rap music and mainstream rap music taking a turn into the kind of the lower IQ, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not smart anymore. It's not intelligent anymore. It's stupid. This is the Southern movement back in 2003, 2004. A lot of like Southern hip hop was very popular. That was sort of the trend of the hip-hop community at the time. A lot of these Southern cats were blowing up. Paul Wall, Chameleonaire, all these guys that had a Southern flavor to them. But at least back then, at least the beats were still good. Instrumentals, the production was still pretty decent. But then by the fucking auto-tune era, by 2006, 2007... And it's all because, bullshit like Kanye West. And I'm not dissing Kanye too bad, but he contributed a lot of the, the auto-tune garbage to it. It just fucking sucks, you know what I mean? And then you have everybody doing auto-tune, and then that sucked. And then everybody was wearing skinny jeans, and then the whole 80s movement came in, and the big, fucking dark sunglasses, the generic look. Everybody dressed like Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? Like, it just... hip-hop is not the same. Like, it's not even hardcore anymore. It's not raw. Yeah, modern rap music has sucked for a long time, so I just stick to a lot of old shit from the 90s, early 2000s, and some underground independent shit. That's what I just, I stick to that predominantly. Alright, next question. When will Call of Duty end for good so people can stop bitching about it? Wow. I don't think they're... as long as people keep buying Call of Duty, it's gonna keep going. They're gonna keep putting out, they're gonna keep releasing the COD games because there's a market for it, because it makes a lot of money. And it doesn't matter how shitty the games are now, because, the developers can make... like the lowest kind of effort in making these games, and the storyline, who gives a shit, the multiplayer, people just keep buying it because they're fucking loyal to the brand. It's the games are really easy to pick up and play. It's very arcadey. It's very what's that term? Instant gratification, you know what I mean? Very fucking quick. You just pick it up, shoot a bunch of people, and just that's the game. There's no depth to it. There's no confounding fucking profound storyline. There's no complex storytelling or character development. It's just the same shitty games over and over again, but what? It's got a market, people are gonna keep buying it. People are fucking They want to play that stupid dumbed down shit. You know, it's that mainstream shit. The same reason why a lot of people like mainstream rap garbage. And, you know, shitty music in general. People like stupid shit. You know, that Gangnam Style. Basically, Call of Duty is the Gangnam Style of the fucking video game industry. Alright, let's go to another question. What's your favorite superhero movie of all time? Oh man, this one, that's a good question. There's been a lot, and most of them are pretty much garbage. But I thought X-Men First Class was really good. Well-made movie. That's probably my favorite in the last 5 years. The Dark Knight was good, but it's kind of overrated movie, so that can't be my favorite. Heath Ledger was good, but that's about it. Let's see what else. I would say Batman. The second Batman Returns was good. That's my favorite from the 90s. The Tim Burton, you know, sequel to the original Batman film. Really love that. It's timeless for me. I love the setting. I love the atmosphere. The fucking Gotham City was so dark. It was always nighttime. Michelle Pfeiffer was just hot as fucking Catwoman, and Danny DeVito was just amazing as, you know, fucking Penguin, and just a great film for me. But I really like the original Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man film really resonated with me when it came out. There were some really good moments in that. You know, it was just a fun movie, but that's pretty much it. I think superhero films have been overdone, you know. Just kind of, I don't know, like it's a well that Hollywood keeps coming back to because it sells, and, you know, there's a market for it, but fuck, there's nothing original anymore, you know. And they're coming out with a new Wolverine movie that's supposed to be set in Japan or some shit. The sequel to fucking X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I did watch in theaters. Kind of a disappointing film. I'm just not a fan of that shit anymore. I don't care about superhero films anymore. Alright, next question. Hey, your fanboy reviews are terrible. When will you make real video game reviews? Alright, let me tell you something. They're not terrible, man. They absolutely are meant to be, well, they're meant to be irritating and ridiculous and stupid and annoying and obnoxious. That's what it's supposed to be. It's this fucking satire, man. That's, anybody who takes a fanboy review seriously is a fool. Yeah, I mean, you deserve to feel that way. You deserve to feel like an idiot after watching it, if you take it seriously. Like, you know, if you're smart, you'll realize that thing is not serious. It's just satire. And I love it when people go, oh, this shit is not funny. Fuck your fanboy reviews. It's not funny, dude. It's not funny. It's not even meant to be funny. Satire is not necessarily funny. It's just something to poke fun at, you know, something stupid. Like, you're satirizing it. You're mocking it, you know. As far as making real video game reviews, I have a bunch of them. I don't know why people don't... I love it when people just criticize you based on one video they've seen from your channel. It's fucking stupid. You know, I mean, it takes like 5 seconds to click on my name and click on my channel and browse through my playlists. I have some real game reviews, but I don't make them that frequently anymore because they take up a lot of time. You know, that's a time-wasting type of thing. They eat up a lot of time. I mean, I could make a 5-hour... I could spend 5 hours on a real game review, but that's gonna take too fucking long, and I'm only gonna get like 20 views on, you know, one review. It's not worth it. It's exerting too much effort into something that's not gonna have a lot of reward. There's no, you know, there's not a lot of payoff behind it. You know, I'm not the fucking angry video game nerd. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these guys who can make any type of video and review and get like 20,000 views right away. It's not the same thing. And as far as actual, you know, getting the footage and everything, don't even, fuck that. A lot of these game footage, they might be like, there's copyright rules too. Like, I can't use, you know, certain music, You know, I can't be playing the music. I can't play. Like even some companies, they'll, you know, have copyright stuff in their shit. And you know, I understand it's commentary, but man, they fucking limit the shit out of that. You know, I don't want to take that risk into making another review and then have the risk of, oh, you know, copyright rules and shit. You know, I don't want to break that shit. Alright, next question. What's your favorite generation in gaming? Favorite generation, huh? Oh my god. Oh, I actually don't like to look at it from that point of view. Technically, it'd probably be the 6th generation, the PS2 era, Xbox, PSP, GameCube era. That, you know, early mid-2000s era was really good because it had amazing games and incredible graphics too. So wow, just great combination of you know, graphics and gameplay. But I like to go by year instead. Like if I had to pick a year, maybe 2006 was one of my favorite years ever because it had a lot of great games that was released on the PS2, the 360. You know what I mean? Like all these fucking new games coming out. That's when I really discovered a lot of games too in 2006. Just a lot of that exciting new, you know, there's so many titles came out too that's considered like classics by today. Games like Bully, you know, fucking Okami, you know what I mean? I Believe Dead or Alive Extreme 2 also came out in 2006. The first Gears of War came out in 2006. So just, you know, various titles coming out. Alright, I'm 5'7" and weigh 234 pounds. Any advice on losing weight? Okay, losing weight, right. You must have been the only guy to watch my workout video, advice on losing weight. Yeah, I mean, just eat in the morning, man. Eat right after you wake up. From the moment you get up from bed, just fucking eat. Have breakfast right away, and that has to be the biggest meal of the day. Because it's just, when you eat right away, right after you wake up, you're getting all that food into your body, and over the course of the whole day, you're burning up that fucking, you know, it's in your stomach, and, you know, you're using up that energy. So the biggest meal of the day has to be the first meal, the breakfast, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, you can wake up at fucking 4 p.m. in the afternoon, as long as you wake up. If you start eating at 1 p.m., you know, just fucking start eating. That's when you know, as soon as you wake up. And usually just eat only maybe 2 or 3 times. I only eat like 2 times a fucking day now. I used to eat 3 times a day. Small meals, so basically, you know, portion out your fucking food. Like, don't pig out, you know, on a single meal. Like, fucking divide it into 3 separate meals at least, so you can, you know, digest food and fucking, you're not overstuffing yourself with calories and shit. And try to exercise too. Like, fucking just exercise. Just, you know, work out. Calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, variations, stretches, you know, treadmill, whatever the hell is available, weights, you know, I mean, that's part of it. You know, you really do have to stay active in order to actually stay physically fit a certain way, you know. Be toned a little bit and not be fucking gaining weight. It's a battle, too. It's a consistent fucking battle. You're always trying to fight off that fucking weight, the fat from building up. And don't eat too much fatty food, man. Stay away from cholesterol. Fuck cholesterol. Trans fat and cholesterol is just bad. If you eat it every day, it's just horrible. You can't be eating that shit. It's just unhealthy. You know, drink plenty of fucking water, because water is important. When you start feeling hungry, just fucking drink plenty of water to, like, trick your stomach into thinking it's okay, it's got something, it's eating something, it's got food in it. That's just some tips I have. Next question. Is Tupac overrated? I can't understand why people say he's the greatest rapper when cats like KRS-One, Rakim, Jay-Z, Nas, and Outkast
exist to this day. Yeah, I mean, I can see your point. Tupac was a great rapper because, and he's been gone for a while, you know, the younger generation has no fucking clue what Tupac really is, and I can't blame them, but yeah, Tupac had a lot of great songs. I'm not the biggest Tupac fan, but he had a lot of good hits. He was always able to make like a big fucking massive commercial hit. He was great at writing songs, a lot of conscientious, you know, smart songs, you know, a lot of political stuff. You know, he had tons of charisma, very charismatic, very likable, very intense, in your face, say whatever's on his mind, and he was just a rebel in many respects, but I think that's why a lot of people consider him the best, is because he had so many hits, he had so many, like his fan base was huge, a big following, he sold a lot of records, very charismatic guy, he was a star, he was a superstar, you know, big name, probably the biggest name in rap, period. Alright. And that's the thing with Tupac too, like personally for me, like one of my favorite rappers ever is Big L. One of the best MCs of all time. So in my opinion, like Big L would have been the greatest rapper of all time if he actually stayed alive. If he lived and he made more songs and he signed to mainstream, I think he was going to sign to Rockefeller or something. Who knows what could have happened with Big L if he actually stayed alive, if he wasn't, you know, shot to death. Alright, another question. How did you come up with Fanboy Reviews, and how do you pick which games to attack? Alright, the origin of the Fanboy Reviews is, well, it's an original creation, but with bases from other people. I was also inspired by some people who did the whole mocking thing, the whole satire thing. There's this guy, I think his name is Philo Films, and he does a lot of these like blah 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 sucks videos, like, oh, you know, Legend of Zelda sucks, you know, Skyrim sucks, you know, he does these kind of videos, and that inspired me, because that was like last year, 2012, and he had a lot of them like earlier, like 2011, you know what I mean, like, so I started watching those, and I thought they were fucking hilarious, they were funny, and he was just, obviously he was just kidding, he was just joke, he was trolling everybody, but it was the funniest thing, and I was like, this guy is a genius. So that inspired me. But an even earlier guy was Leisure Suit Gaming 2, aka Silent Rob, and back in the day he made Xbox 360 fanboy reviews. He would be like, it's 360 fanboy reviews, and he would pretend to be a 360 fanboy, and he was bashing the PS3 all the time, like, you know, fuck the PS3 and 360 fanboy reviews, and he's making a review about, like, fucking Alan Wake, and he was mocking, like, Killzone 2, and, you know, this is, like, 2009. They were really funny, yeah. So that inspired me, too, you know, that mocking the actual fanboys who actually think that way, so as far as choosing whatever, fucking game to pick on, anything's fair game. Any video game, it's not even limited to video games. I will fucking make fun of anything that's popular. You know, Avril Lavigne, I made fun of her by being a Selena Gomez fan, you know, fanboy. That was funny. I don't know what else I did. Some other stuff. Maybe, oh, the movie, I did a Spider-Man one, you know, Spider-Man the movie. Just little things like that, you know, anything that's like pop culture, easy to make fun of, easy to pick on, I'll bash it, because that's the satire behind it. Alright, next question. What do you think of punk rock? I don't listen to punk rock, so I can't really comment on it. Don't know much about it. I don't know much about the history. I mean, I'm more into like alternative rock and grunge, you know, I'm more about that shit, that 90s grunge, post-grunge, you know, new metal, you know, that kind of 90s, early 2000s hard rock. Alright, When's the last time you bought a brand new video game? I guess this might be because of the whole used video game thing. Selling used games is illegal. I don't really believe selling used games should be illegal. Anyway, that was just obviously a fucking joke. Actually, just not too long ago, I think a day ago, I bought like 4 new Xbox 360 games. Granted, they were, $10 a piece, but it was pretty sweet, they were all, brand new and shit. But it was a long time, like, it's been a while since I actually bought brand new one. Like, the last time I bought an actual brand new one since this one was 2011, which was like Resident Evil 4 for the Wii. Yeah, after discovering Craigslist, I don't really buy a lot of new stuff anymore. Everything is just used because it's like, fuck it. I'm not gonna pay like $10, $20, $30 for a fucking retail game if I can get it for like $5. Craigslist. Alright, next question. What's your favorite and least favorite developers? Oh god. Maybe Rockstar's my favorite. I love that shit. Grand Theft Auto is amazing. I like pretty much everything they make. It's probably Rockstar out of numerical basis, because out of sheer quantity, I go with Rockstar overall. I also like Namco just because they make Tekken. I love Tekken. Capcom. Love Capcom, but mostly like 90s, early 2000s Capcom, back when they were actually doing good. As far as least favorite, I don't even know. Anybody that makes shitty games. Yeah, like this one called, fuck, I forgot what they were called, but they made like really shitty games for like the PS2. Like they made Triggerman and shit like that. Triggerman, whoever developed Triggerman, that's a pretty crappy developer to me, because these, I don't know how these games, these developers rather, are able to even fund and make games for the system. Like, the people who make like Gingerbread Man and shit like that, that shitty developer, that one crappy developer that has the ability to put out games for a system somehow, but all their games fucking suck. So it's like, how are you even in existence? It doesn't make any sense. It's retarded. Okay, next question. How old are you? I'm 25. Alright, should I pay $60 for Aladdin on Game Boy Advance? It's really hard to find, and I really want to buy it. Personally, I wouldn't do it. $60 is too much for any fucking game, especially for even if it's a sealed copy. I mean, Aladdin, really? You can't just emulate. I would suggest just emulate this. Get an emulator, play it on the computer or something first. I mean, if you really want to buy it for $60, go ahead. I'm not stopping you, but that's a ripoff. I can get a lot more shit for $60. Oh my god. Alright, and final question. What is the golden era of video games? The golden era? I don't know. Because I wasn't there in the 80s. The 80s could have been amazing. I don't fucking know, but I think from my experience, maybe the 90s, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, that era probably. But instead of even looking at it that way, I look at it as more as certain genres will have a golden age. You know what I mean? Like right now we're at the golden age of first-person shooting games, because it's fucking red hot. It's selling like hotcakes. Call of Duty, Killzone, Battlefield. It's countless first-person shooters that have made it and become so popular. Maybe in the early mid-2000s, it was open world games like Grand Theft Auto and shit like that. That was the golden era of open world. In the 80s, maybe early 90s, it was platforming. That's the golden era. Early mid-90s was fighting games. That's the golden era of fighting games. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all that shit. Whichever era has the hottest, that's the hottest time for that genre, that style of gaming. That's the golden era. Alright, that's it for this Q&A, I guess. I mean, pretty long video. I know it took a while. My voice is... My throat is starting to hurt. Fuck this. It's time to end it. Maybe I'll do it again next month or something. I don't know. Till next time. Peace.